Hi guys, Lando Assistant here, and here is our math problem for today. We are given here a rational expression with a bunch of radical expressions both in the numerator and in the denominator. And our goal is to simplify these rational radical expressions. You can pause the video and see if you can solve this problem. Now let's solve this problem together. Our strategy is to manipulate the denominator so that we can come up with an expression similar to the numerator. So let's carry out that plan. First, let's look at this 2 square root of 2. That means square root of 2 plus square root of 2. Also notice that we have here square root of 9, which is equal to 3. Then replace those terms with the yellow expressions. Notice that in our numerator, we started with square root of 1, square root of 2, square root of 3, up to square root of 5. And we now have here square root of 2, square root of 3, up to square root of 5. We need to make this square root of 1 so that this part here can look like the numerator. So how can we get a square root of 1 here? We can get that from this 3. We can write that 3 as 1 plus 2, and we can write this 1 as square root of 1 and this 2 as square root of 4 because square root of 4 is equal to 2. So let's remove this 1 plus 2 and insert now this square root of 1 plus square root of 4 in place of this 3. And let's do that. So we now have this part here replacing 3. Now our goal is to transfer this square root of 1 to this part and interchange these two terms. And this is now the result. Now at this point, notice now that this part here and the numerator are the same. So what we can do is group this part as one group and this part here as another group. So let's carry that out. Here's now the result. Let's simplify this part here. Notice that we have here square root of 2, square root of 4, square root of 6, square root of 8, and square root of 10. So applying the commutative property, let's rearrange them in ascending order. Then let's take this part and simplify this. So let's copy that part here. We can now re-express this as square root of 2 times 1, square root of 2 times 2, square root of 2 times 3, square root of 2 times 4, and square root of 2 times 5. And applying now this product property of radical, we can split this part here into two radicals this way. So this square root of 2 times 1 is now square root of 2 times square root of 1. The same here. This is now two radicals. And this is now the application of this product property of radical. So the same explanation for the rest of them. Now at this point, notice that this pink square root of 2 are common among these 5 terms. And we can factor out that common factor square root of 2 to arrive now at this part. We factor out square root of 2. So this part here divided by square root of 2 resulted to square root of 1. Then this part here divided by square root of 2 resulted to square root of 2. And do the same thing until we arrive at this 5th term to arrive at square root of 5. So we can now replace this part of the denominator by this result. And so let's carry that out. This is now what we have. Notice now that this part of the denominator and this part of the numerator are the same, and this part here also is the same as the numerator. So we can do some simplification in the denominator by factoring out this common factor that is placed in one parenthesis. So let's perform the computation again in this box. Let's take the denominator and copy that here. Factor out the common factor, which is this entire terms inside the parenthesis. So this part here divided by itself is equal to 1. So we have 1 here. And then this part here divided by this, notice that we will cancel out this part and this part. What is left is square root of 2. And so this is now the factored form of the denominator. And let's replace now the denominator with that value. So replace the denominator with that value. So notice now that again, this is the same as this part of the denominator. So we can cancel them out. The result is 1. So what is left is 1 over 1 plus square root of 2. Amazing. And then this is not yet in its rational form. So let's rationalize this by multiplying by the conjugate of 1 plus square root of 2, which is 1 minus square root of 2. And this resulted in a difference of 2 squares. We copy the numerator and apply the difference of 2 squares formula to arrive at the square of the first term minus the square of the second term here. Then simplify. Copy the numerator. 1 squared is 1. The square of square root of 2 is 2, and copy the minus sign. And that is equal to 1 minus square root of 2 over negative 1. And finally, this is equal to square root of 2 minus 1 when we divide by -1. And this is now the simplified form of this given complicated rational radical expression. So thank you very much. This is Lando Asisten, and we hope to see you again in our next video. Bye for now.